People used to be more intelligent years ago as far as understanding their, not all people, some people had little wives' tales and stuff, but some people knew, well, yeah, that's poison ivy, that's a coral snake, that's a this, and so through tradition and understanding and experience, it's like red on yellow kill a fella, red on black friend of Jack, coral snake and a king snake and stuff like that. Like when Carl Cunningham was sitting there playing with that little tiny straw-colored scorpion, and Michael Murillo's turning white and going, Carl, that one can kill you. That's the most poisonous. No, that's a little one. It's the bigger ones. And he says, no, that's not true. And I'm like, you better, Mike has a heart condition. All he does is sit around and read books and comic books. But Carl, you better, I'm sitting there going, Carl, listen to Mike. Okay, listen. We went back home. My dad had a book on, one of the books, that had the things about Gila monsters. Carl did the same thing with Gila monsters. Well, they're not that fast. I still ain't fucking with a Gila monster. Okay. Because they're aggressive. Yeah, they are. You fuck with them, they fuck back. And he was fucking with it, and I was like, God dang, we're in Socorro. And I was like, Carl, you're gonna bite into something someday, and it's gonna get you. I don't fuck with shit. If it, it ain't. If it comes to fuck with me, that's one thing. But if it's there and it's doing its thing, I'm just gonna there goes a Gila monster, right? And and the same with critters. I don't like to fuck with them, but they come in here. That's all bets are off. You come as a certain spider. Yeah, I'm gonna step on you and stuff. Just try to stay out there. Don't come up here. Don't crawl up on my bed. We'll be all right. Right. I don't get all but I'm like, okay. Yeah, hey, knock it off. And so I've been that way most of my life because I used to catch wolf spiders in the bathroom and get them on a piece of toilet paper and tell them, don't go into the bathroom. My sisters will kill you. Right. They'll pow. Right. And then they repaid me. We slipped on I used to get spider bites, a lot of spider bites when I was a kid on my bed. This and that. And this. Certain things, some people have different kinds of immune systems, different reactions to things, different things. And the thing about it is ultimately you are responsible for yourself. Well, life is eternal and grace is infinite. Okay? Do you understand? And that's, yeah. Okay, ultimately you are responsible for yourself. Okay. So, a lot of guys, my wife's a bitch. Okay. She's DNA interfacing with you. Right? Your wife was a bitch. Yeah, but she was having sex with half of Fort Huachuca. Okay? She wasn't having sex with me. When she was having sex with me, she was nice. When she started having sex with guys like you, your wife's a bitch. I know. Hi, bitch. How's it going? So, yeah, it was horrible. And then it's a relative interactive construct. So people are going to do what they feel they need to do to survive because life is eternal and grace is infinite. Right? And I remember explaining that to him. I explained that to Babaker and Sierra Vista. If his science people talk to me, well, the first thing your wife does, she goes online looking for somebody looking to take out insurance and talking to some of these guys, she was having online affairs with Al Qaeda members and shit like that and wanting to be Jamie Lee Curtis from True Lies because she was married to this loser, Moss Mo, And I told her, Amy, when she was doing it in Sheridan, I said, we're on George Bush's watch list. You're talking to he's a terrorist. His name was Mateen. He was from Australia. And he would Skype Amy and say, we've got to kill all the Jews because they're killing all the Palestinians. And these people died. And I remember getting mad because he would say all this stuff and Natalie would hear. And I go, no, Natalie, they've already killed a lot of the Jews. Your grandmother and your great-grandmother and your grandmother, and I get pissed, I was like, he doesn't need to talk that way, especially around my daughter. You don't need to let Natalie hear that kind of shit. Okay, people talking about killing other people. Okay. And then I would tell Amy, I said, we're on, And then to make it seem like, no, that's not true, Amy ends up getting the job as a circulation director at WIC Communications, a couple of clicks outside of Fort Huachuca, right? And then when we got there and all this stuff was happening, and Natalie said all this stuff, and Amy was all this stuff was happening, it's because of me. I didn't know it was because of me at first. I mean, I had a subconscious recognition of it, but not until I got the job, which when all the guys from the fort were sexually pursuing my wife, and it was annoying and oh, you know. And I remember with all the guys they had coming after her and the guys she was having sex with, I was like, at first I felt real vulnerable. I was like, these are the type of people that could come in and have a home invasion and kill everybody in your house and make it look like a robbery gone bad. Okay, so this was very unsettling with the people she was having sexual relations and rubbing at my face and stuff in Cochise County. It was, wow, it was creepy, right? And I had to protect and take care of the kids, and she was going out and trying to be fucking, what's the name? Tony Curtis's and Janet Leigh's. Jamie Lee Curtis's, from True Lies, only, I'm not Stan from American Dad, right? So I'm sitting, and then I find out later, Stan from American Dad is all mean mugging me with his hot friend and their black Jeep, and they're terrified of me. And I'm like, but I'm fat and tired and out of shape. I can't even keep my sexual reputation because my wife's make my life miserable. I remember that with Amy too, because she was sitting there. What got into you when all the Navy SEAL and all his buddies were trying to outscrew me? And I remember thinking, if I wasn't so stressed and overweight and abused and in a toxic environment, if I could get the Flagstaff Institute, when I was young and law and, and Amy, I remember that was Steffi, and Amy, Miriam was told, oh, he's this and that. No, this is nothing compared to me in law. You got to hear Ray, give her somebody. No, if I have a woman who really likes sex and enjoys sex and knows how to enjoy sex, we'll be in there for 3 days and you'll be like, it was funny because it was a macho Puerto Rican screwing around on his 8-month pregnant wife that Steffi wanted to get back at. And it would have been better if her cousin was there. It's like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? When do you guys stop? And she's asthmatic. She's asthmatic. You do all the work. Superman, the Flash and Aquaman too. And and so, it was funny. Well, life's eternal and grace is infinite, and we're ultimately responsible for who we are, okay? And Amy wasn't a bad person. She was just a little girl trying to fit in, being abused by the super jocks that were jealous of the Messiah and the super geeks and nerds, especially the assholes at Facebook, Rockefeller. Because I heard all that stuff. He's supposed to be like his grandson or something like that. And he used to very affectionately referred to Facebook as the little blue book of the Hitler Youth. You're like, what? And I remember I'd always ask him that. I was like, why can't you help with my family? Because I can't even take care of my own family. What makes you think I can tell your family how to? But you're David Rockefeller. You could show the fuck up here and say, Parsons, your kid's telling you the truth. And why didn't you do anything like that? I don't understand you fucking people. Thing is, they don't understand themselves. They're insane. Okay. Now, once you start fighting each other and you want to win, and you want to be better than other people, and then you start setting up spy equipment, you study somebody and you realize he's better than you, but you hate him and you want to be better than him. Okay. Donald Trump knows what I'm talking about. So does Barack Obama. Okay. They know real well. Joe Biden, Pope Leo, step right into Francis the Mule's shoes, right? And so, how can he be so great? It's like, you do know they poisoned me half to death, and okay. And I volunteered to do it. I didn't mean to. It's just, what would Jesus do? Jesus went and tended to and ministered to the lepers and the whores, and Earl, why do you get abused with the poor? Why do you get poisoned with legalese from the Supreme Court? It's just family tradition, right? Peter, Paul, Jesus, David, Solomon, it's just what we do. It's what we do. Haile Selassie, it's what we do. It's wrong to acquit the guilty and deny justice to the innocent. The poor plead for mercy, the rich answer of insults. The wealthy are fools who see their wealth as a high wall of safety. We do. You're ultimately responsible for who the fuck you are. Okay, and so then people hawking it pissed off. But you're the best jock. You're talented. You're way more talented than you think you're talented. What do you mean? Oh, Natalie saying I'm a pretty fair. Thank you. She's so sweet and I raised her. Okay, you're a good singer, Dad. You should sing more. She was really sweet. She was encouraging. That's how I am. She learned that from me, you know. Build people up. And she was, you're a good singer. I was like, am I? I've always known I was I was the best dancer all through junior high and high school. I always knew that. I was the best athlete. I knew all that. But I quit because they're mean. The only time I would, out dance people and stuff when they make fun of the kids that can't. And then I'd come up, can you do this? No, I didn't break dance, but I could do James Brown and Michael Jackson stuff they couldn't do. And I just go, look, and then so step off and let these kids everybody's out here having a good time. Well, why can't they? You run like a duck. But it's part of the game, right? Yeah. Okay. Sitting there, la, waiting for my yah. That's the only time I'd go off, was when people would bully. And then they'd front, and it's, okay, look, you can't outdance me, motherfucker. I can I can outrun you. I like with Mike Bedia. No, I'm the one here. I'm walking here. And then they learn the lesson. You don't start none, static, don't start none, won't be none, right? So you are ultimately responsible for who you are. And life is eternal, grace is infinite. And we are what we do. Yeah, heaven and hell. Living is a dream when you make it seem enchanted. Lovers take for granted all the world to go. You ought to know then you truly are enchanted when your dreams are slanted through a lover's eyes. It's truly grand when you stand hand in hand with your lover and thrill at the wonders of night. See why Mom liked the Platters so much? I like the Platters too. And don't forget Clyde McPhatter. Yeah. Lover, please come back. Don't take the train going. Does she love me with all her heart? Should I worry when we're apart? It's a lover's question. I'd like to know. Good stuff, right? Okay, now quit comparing. Don't judge. Don't be. Just love and be loved in return. Just love living because you're kind and you care and you want to share and care and give in accordance to need, build the last, live the Lord's Prayer, do it now, beam me up, Scotty, help Spock, explain to them, stop being such a fucking egomaniac. You can't quantify the universe with your brain. I'm not picking on William Shatner. I just want him to just listen. I'm not Oprah. She's listen to me. I want to listen to you. You always do shit for money. Live the Lord's Prayer. Hey, they wrote it down and got most of it right. We'll talk about that later when I'm ready to. I just don't want to talk right now. I'm sick and tired of the science set in this valley. They're mean and they suck. They're vicious, selfish, insecure, and harm. They're like Vincent D'Onofrio's character from Men in Black and shit. Yeah. Okay. Make it stop. I don't know how to make it stop. If I could make it stop, I would have stopped it in 2013. Okay. All right. I love you guys. All right. Peace.